Hey everybody, welcome back. It is time for game number 4 between Huck and MoonGlade. This has been a very good series so far, and it's time for game number 4. So here we go, MoonGlade spawning as the purple Zerg over at the left-hand position, and it is, hey, look at this, Lost Temple, the most default map of all time. This is the map that, whenever in doubt, pick Lost Temple unless you are Zerg versus Terran. That's my default rule of choice. I have 3 rules when it comes to Starcraft. 1, don't sleep before playing Starcraft. Don't wake up right before playing Starcraft because you'll play really bad. Don't drink before playing Starcraft, and don't pick Lost Temple if you're Zerg versus Terran. So yeah, that's that, and let's see what happens this game around. It looks like Huck is once again going to be the Protoss, obviously, red Protoss, at the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock position. It looks like this time they do have cross spawns, which I'm super excited about because we might actually have a super long-term game. This map is a very nice map to go super long-term game upon because obviously the Zerg has a nice place to get the gold expansion at, and obviously the 4th and 5th, easy to establish for the Zerg player. Likewise, the Protoss can go for a Forge FE very quickly. Forge FE obviously standing for Forge Fast Expand, which means that the Protoss can get their early Nexus down and it can be a long-term macro game. On the other hand, it could be a very quick game as well. Sometimes MoonGlade just likes to mix it up, and indeed this time it looks like he's gonna go for 14 gas, 14 pool, which isn't as aggressive as 13 gas, 13 pool, but it does allow MoonGlade to get out those early Zerglings, and I think the reasoning for this is because he's scared about Huck's Forge cannon build, and that, that's annoying. That's very annoying to deal with. If Huck scouts out that MoonGlade is going for the hatchery right here, then it's very easy for Huck, like he did in game 2, cancel the gateway, throw a Forge down, and just spam cannons, and then he gets a huge benefit from that. That doesn't make any sense. Benefit from that. He can build cannons, and of course, what does that mean? That allows the Protoss player to kind of spike ahead because he can cancel his cannons. Like I said, the drones are forced to pull off the mineral line, and it's kind of nasty to deal with. So when MoonGlade opens with this build, he gets early Zerglings out. He can defend against those kind of cannons. He can obviously apply pressure to Huck, and it's worked 3 games already. It didn't work so well in game 3 because he didn't win, but it's worked. He's been able to bust through into the Protoss main 2 times already, excuse me. So we'll see if it works for a 3rd time this time around. He's got speed on the way. He's got 4 Zerglings. He's got Queen. He's got 2 more Zerglings as well, so he's going to have a couple of Zerglings coming out. He's going to try to puncture his way through the Protoss main once again, and it looks like this time Huck is going to get a Sentry rather than get a Stalker, so that's a little interesting. Rather than a Sentry, he's going to get a Stalker, and he does have that 2nd gas down quite early as well. So obviously Huck could go for the Void Rays. He tried to do that in the first game. It didn't work out so well, but he could try to go for the Void Rays in game number 4. And this map, it can work, but the only thing is that they're very far away. Usually air works well if the Zerg were to spawn somewhere like up here at the 12. So we'll see how that works out. Let's see. We have 2 more gateways going down, so it is not going to be a Stargate yet. It could be 3-gate Stargate though, so hold your breath, guys. It could be anything. Huck is the master of changing up his builds. It looks like he's focused right there to pick off that drone. Doesn't want to allow any drone to scout the next building that comes up. And is it going to be a Stargate? Is it going to be a Stargate? I'm waiting. I don't see a Stargate going down yet. I think that it is going to be 3-gate Expo. So Huck here is going to try to go for... He's going to try to go for a very standard Protoss opening, which is just 3 warp gates into expansion. MoonGlade, meanwhile, has a hatchery down. He's breaking down the rocks, and I think both these players, yeah, like I said, in the beginning of this game, they've spawned cross-spawn. I think they're going to completely focus on getting early economy. They're going to try to ramp up as many probes and drones as they can, and then they're going to focus on the late game. So this is very safe. This is very standard. Both these players don't want to fall behind in economy, and obviously the Protoss player has a bit of an eco advantage here. Oh, look at this. The Zerglings actually try to do a run by. It looks like they're going to pick off a bunch of the sentries. 2 sentries actually safe inside the double force field. They're trying to kill as many Oh, wow, that was 4 sentries. How the heck did that happen? Those sentries obviously don't care about personal space at all. I think they just all spammed force fields, and then they just kind of stacked on top of each other. That was very cool. and that actually saved Huck right there. That allowed him to kill off all the Zerglings, so that was very nice. Super good micro right there to plant the 4 force fields in the perfect spot to squeeze all the sentries on top of each other, and then he was able to kill off all the Zerglings, so that was super, super cool. And now Huck is pretty safe. He just killed off all the Zerglings. He's going to throw up a couple more gateways at the front, and this is standard transition. 3 warp gates, Expo, into 5 gates or 6 gates, and it's going to be primarily ground forces for the Protoss player from here on out, as he's going to focus down on economy, and he's going to get a ton of warp gate units. So the proper response here for MoonGlade, either go for Mutalisks, in my opinion, or go for Hydralisks. You want to go for one or the other. It doesn't look like MoonGlade's got layer at all, though. So he's going to have to focus pretty much on Speedlings and Roaches. It looks like a couple Speedlings going to get caught out in the open. He's going to try to run straight into the main, but Huck already on it, warping in a couple of Zealots to defend against the Zerglings that may run by. I think MoonGlade realizes, though, he has to defend, and he does have 2 more Spine Crawlers coming up. I think he's got enough to defend against this. He's not making any more Zerglings, so he thinks that he can defend against this with just 4 Spine Crawlers and a handful of Lings. I do think that he is right in that regard, but he has to be careful about those force fields. Huck is so good with his force field micro. He can, like I said, he can just plant force fields and then squeeze all of his units together, which is a very nice little micro trick. And he can do that to deal with the Zerglings very easily. So we're going to switch over right now to MoonGlade's view. I want to see what our Australian friend is up to. He's actually behind in economy a little bit. He's trying to get more gas rolling in right now. So I think with this much gas rolling in, 4 gases, he's getting layer. I think he's going to try to transition into Mutaling, and he's going to try to get Mutalisk out across the map. This is something that MoonGlade used to favor back in the beta. He loved mass Mutalisks against Protoss. It's a very powerful build, but he has to defend against Huck's initial attack first, and it looks like Huck here has actually hallucinated Phoenix. He's got Phoenix. He's going to move 2 into the natural, and these are primarily for scouting. He wants to see exactly what's going on. It looks like he sees the layer. No Spire being built yet, but I think that MoonGlade built the Roaches and the Hydralisk Den just to throw off the Phoenix. Is he going to cancel? Yes, he's canceling the Hydralisk Den. He cancels and he builds a Spire. Super well played right here from MoonGlade. This is exactly what a smart player does. He reveals Roaches and Hydras to the hallucinated Phoenix, and then he completely switches his tech around. And is Huck privy to this? Is he going to realize that his scouting information is completely off? His scouters have not given him the information he needs to know. He is actually, wow, look at this. He's researching Protoss air weapons from the Cybernetics Core. So is he gonna get Stargate? I don't see any Stargates on the map right now. I don't think he has any Stargates whatsoever. So why is he getting +1 air weapons? I am completely bewildered and baffled right now. I have no idea. Remember, hallucinations don't do any damage, so the +1 air weapons doesn't mean anything whatsoever. So maybe Huck hit the wrong button, because he's getting air weapons for no reason. He is getting blink, so he's gonna focus on what's he gonna focus on? He's gonna get Stalkers, obviously, which can deal with Mutalisk quite well. More Phoenix coming in here, so now Huck realizes that, hey, it is a Spire, so the tech has been switched around, but is it too late now? The 13 Mutalisks are on the way, so I think it may be too late for Huck. Huck needs to get cannons down ASAP. He's building 3 cannons at the main. He's getting 3 cannons at the at the natural and at the main, but he's not building any cannons at the back, which means that his mineral line could very well be exposed to Mutalisks. I really don't like the placement of these 3 cannons up here. We'll see what happens. Here comes the 13 Mutalisk. Huck scrambling to get Templar Archives out. He's going to try to deal with Mutalisk with Storm, which I actually think is good against Mutaling, but you need to get those Templars out super fast. The Templar Archive is still very far away, and remember, you have to research Psionic Storm as well, which is still so far off. I'm surprised that Huck he has +1 weapons for his Hallucination Phoenix, but he has no real air units. I'm surprised he doesn't just throw down Stargates and get Phoenix out right now, but he does have Blink Stalkers. Remember, Blink Stalker's pretty good against Mutalisk. He's gonna blink up on the high ground, does a little bit of damage to the Mutas, forces them back, but MoonGlade right now, he has map control, so he's gonna take advantage of that and throw down 2 more hatcheries. I like that play. He's using his map control to his fullest right now, and he's going to throw down as many expansions as he possibly can. So things are looking really, really good right now for MoonGlade. Huck scrambling to get Psionic Storm out for his Templars. He has a crap ton more economy, 69 Harvesters, but he doesn't have a third expansion, so he's oversaturated right now. MoonGlade's still abusing the map with the Mutalisk. He hasn't really done much damage yet. Here he goes. He has to be careful about the Blink Stalkers, though. The Stalkers can do so much damage to the Mutalisk. Remember, the Stalkers have +1 weapons themselves, and wow. This is just a game of cat and mouse right now. Right now, at this point in time, I think that Huck has a significant advantage because he has so many more Harvesters. He's going to transfer over. As soon as he gets this gold expansion up, he's going to shoot ahead by leaps and bounds. MoonGlade, on the other hand, he needs to do some damage with these Mutalisks. He's just invested all this money into Mutas, and he hasn't done any damage whatsoever. He did just pick off a couple of sentries here or there, but it's not really paying off at all. And MoonGlade needs to make something happen. He does, however, have a lot of expansions to fall back to, but this is a ton of Stalkers coming out for Huck. And MoonGlade is going to fly in with his Mutalisk. He's in the main. He's going to force the Stalkers to run back, but remember, with Blink, easy. Shift Q, Blink, Micro, going to hop right into the main. Mutalisk here, going to engage the cannons. Now the Blink Stalkers coming in. The Stalkers, they already used their Blink, so they cannot catch up to the Mutas. A couple Stalkers there still had the Blink on cooldown. It looks like really, you know, Huck is being hesitant. He has a large advantage right now, but he's not taking advantage of it. He's allowing the Zerg player to catch up. He's allowing the Zerg player to build up economy. Look at this. He's the Zerg player is way behind in Harvesters, 54 under 77. But the longer that MoonGlade holds out with his Mutalisk, the longer MoonGlade can control the map, the more drones he can pump, the more saturation he can get. Look, it's now 68, not 50 anymore. And the closer MoonGlade gets to winning this game and ending the series. So Huck right now needs to push out. He has Templars. He does have Templars, so he does have Psionic Storm. And that right there could be the shutdown play that Huck has been waiting for. Maybe he's just been waiting for Psionic Storm so he can catch the Mutalisk. Oh my god, that Storm is gonna hurt so much! The Mutalisks are in the orange. Another Storm, preemptive Storm, catching the Mutalisks as they were coming in. And now MoonGlade in trouble. He needs to pull his Mutas back to deal with this humongous Protoss army because MoonGlade has no army on the ground. Where are his Zerglings? If we switch the army tab, both players are dead even, but really no Zerglings to count for. Maybe the Zerglings just kind of died. I don't know where they went. 29 Zerglings. They're somewhere on the map. They're hiding from us. Silly Zerglings. Tricks are for kids. So, are the Mutalisks going to come in? Are the Lings going to come in? It looks like MoonGlade is going to allow his Spine Crawlers to go down at the gold. So I think he's going to go base trading here. He's going to allow his gold expansion to go down. So he's actually going to fly into the Protoss gold. But he has to deal with Templars. Oh my god, he's going to lose so many Mutalisks. Another Storm getting planted down. These Mutas are getting grinded up. They are like potatoes going into the meat grinder. They're coming out as mashed potatoes. This is so bad for the Zerg player. And now the Lings have finally run in, but I don't know if this is a good trade. Yes, MoonGlade might take out all these probes. Yes, he might kill off the gold expansion, but he has just lost his own gold expansion, and the main Protoss army is still very much alive and kicking, and it is coming back with the vengeance. It has a fury on its eyes, and it's gonna come down here and ward away what remains of MoonGlade's shattered army. So I think that MoonGlade is in a lot of trouble, guys. If we switch over to income, actually let's switch over to army, we can see that the Protoss army is very much far ahead right now. MoonGlade is at what, 156? Excuse me, Huck is at 156. MoonGlade is at 94. So MoonGlade, I don't know if you can catch up when you're in a situation this far behind. He's gonna fly in his Mutalisks here, but they're not going to be able to do much. Not against the Storm. Once again, deflecting the Mutalisks. And dun 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 dun, the March of Huck. He's coming across the map with a fully loaded Protoss army. Once again, just beautiful Storms laying down on the Mutalisks. And I think the Mutalisks are going to just... I think this is just going to be GG. I don't see how Huck can hold this off. MoonGlade can hold this off. He's got a ton of Spine Crawlers. So that's one small thing he has in his advantage, but can this many spine crawlers hold off this massive Protoss army? I don't think so. I think Huck is going to take this game right now. A couple of feedback being used on the Queen right there. Never seen that happen before. And Storm Galore is going to kill off the rest of the drones. A bunch of roaches popping out the last second, but I don't know if this roach army can deal with this massive Protoss army. In fact, I'm sure it cannot. Force fields once again locking the Zerg army in position, not allowing them to retreat. And MoonGlade is going to GG out of this game. So that is actually going to be a 2-3 in favor of MoonGlade so far. So MoonGlade's still ahead in this game. Excuse me, is it 2-2? So it is currently 2-2. Neither player has come out ahead, and it's going to go down to an ace match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this broadcast. HD signing out.